We're in a hotel. That makes me wonder if we're in a county that doesn't have health codes. Very reminiscent of the hotel I stayed at on my way to New York.
Oh, really?
Except smaller and definitely a bit dirtier. Texan luxury, which is to say gross. South Texas.
I can't believe it was $70.
Yeah, I know.
I said it was $40.
That was
because
it was a $15 pet deposit.
Oh, fuck. We shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah. But
that was my fault.
That's fine. I saw it written on the table up front, so I was like, I'll ask.
He's not even gonna fucking sleep in here.
I would pay $15 for him to not sleep in here.
Well, I guess that safeguards us for bringing him in the morning and stuff. We
Yeah.
don't have to hide him.
I
was already thinking about it. If we didn't find a place with a pet room, we could just like wrap him in a towel and pretend he's a piece of luggage and just smuggle him into the room. No one would know.
No. And in this hotel, I don't think anyone would care. Mm-hmm. I bet this room is just as much of a pet room as every other room here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, where are we? What's this place called?
Alpine, Texas.
Yeah. And what a difference a day makes.
Today was weird.
Today was weird. Every day has been weird, pretty much, in van life.
Yeah.
I have not gotten really used to it. We're traveling so much distance. We're covering so much distance that every day feels... I mean, we can be 600 miles down the road tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Probably will be.
Up the road.
Mm-hmm.
There's no further south to go.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Mexico, which we saw today.
Yeah, went to Big Bend. But before we Big Bend you over, let us say... Well, we started in the morning early.
Yeah, that was this morning.
Yeah.
Damn, oh my god.
You woke up at like 7:30 or something, and you were going to go for a run.
I really had to poop, too. It was an emergency. I almost didn't make it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy considering the bathrooms
were
right
10
there.
feet away,
Yeah.
But I was like putting on all my shit. Sneakers, bra, shorts.
You could have done that after.
I know, I should have.
Yeah. But, yeah, Chup got out for a minute.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he found the one little alleyway that was, like, just fenced in.
But did he run away?
Yeah. He ran into this corner where there was a fence, and I was able to very easily catch him. Thankfully.
Wow.
But yeah, so we both woke up early, and you went out for that run, which I'm sure was nice. I did not join. It was really
nice, yeah. I tried to go up the nature trail. That was where we were in Sanderson, and it kind of just pooped out and didn't lead to anywhere. So I just ran around the town. I did like 2.5 miles. Felt terrible. I haven't run in a long time.
Yeah. Running is hard.
Yeah.
Especially 2.5 miles is a pretty good little trek.
Yeah. I wanted to do at least 2, because everything else would just be bitch ass. Not even worth it.
Yeah.
Could have kept sleeping. Burned the same amount of calories.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It was certainly hot enough today to burn calories by not doing anything.
But it wasn't hot in the morning.
No.
At all.
Not until like well after noon, probably from like 2:30 to 6 probably. It was like really pretty hot. Yeah. We had a pretty big saga of issues at the post office.
Yeah.
That didn't really work out.
I have to check my tracking.
Did your dad send you the number? He's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She didn't call me, but she doesn't know the tracking number, so that makes sense. But
well, it won't be there till tomorrow, probably at least.
Yeah, so this package that Allie was supposed to get in Sanderson that was supposed to be guaranteed by today did not arrive.
Not there.
And the woman was very unhelpful and like agitated and frazzled.
She stressed me out.
She was stressed
out. She was
out.
so mean to me, and I was like, fine, I'll just leave.
Yeah, and I was like, my MailChimp training kicked in, and I was like, I think that I can probably have a more productive conversation with her than you could, because I'm not going to feed her feelings of frustration and stress. I'm going to acknowledge everything that she's doing, maybe call her by name when I say thank you, have a lot of...
Did you know her name?
I think it was like Maria, but I didn't call her by her name because I didn't... that's not something I usually do. Yeah.
It was pretty bad. And it's not a super important package, but it is also kind of important because it's my mail-in ballot that I'm expecting, so that's kind of a big deal to me. It's my first time voting ever, and it's kind of important to me, especially this year.
Yeah.
So I really want to do that. And also some earrings and some COVID masks.
Multiple, or is it just one?
I don't know. Whatever my mom sent.
I think that we spent a good solid hour going back and forth with this woman, though.
Yeah.
Because I went back in at least twice, maybe even 3 times. Once with you, maybe twice without.
I went in twice, and then I went in with you, and then you went in at least twice, again, or 3 times.
Yeah, she let me look at all the packages, because she said, I know you think I'm lying, but you can look, I don't have it. And it was not there, as far as I could tell. I did confirm at least that much, but without the tracking number, we didn't know where it was, and she did make some calls, and
she ended up being helpful as much as she did, because we didn't have the tracking number, which was the huge downfall, which was no one's fault.
Yeah.
But
I mean, usually when you ship stuff, I mean, I don't typically keep the tracking number. I sometimes take a picture of it because the few times I've shipped anything big enough to have that option, it's been like stuff people have bought from me online.
But it's also frustrating because we planned around that town, that post office, and today getting the package and then leaving. So we didn't. I mean, we made it out. We're not there now, obviously, but.
Yeah, we did a lot of driving today and didn't really go very far, but.
Well, we went really far. We went to Mexico. Almost.
Yeah, we could see it. Could definitely feel it.
After that, I guess we drove to Big Bend.
Yeah,
went through like an hour and a half.
Went through Marathon, and alpining it.
30 miles out of the way just to get a breakfast restaurant. There's nothing out here besides the very small towns with small accommodations and things that you need.
It definitely.
We had to get food. We were out of food.
Yeah. It's like a much more ethnic version of eastern Colorado. And definitely hotter. Yeah. For sure.
Chep is not doing well.
No. And that was another reason we've decided to go ahead and go north from here. I'm definitely fine. Does Colorado touch Texas?
I don't think so.
So New Mexico occupies that space?
Texas, down here in the Panhandle, then New Mexico, then Colorado.
Okay.
Nevada, or Arizona, Nevada.
Okay, yeah, you're looking at it like that.
Oh, yeah. Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada.
Yeah. But yeah, had a weird breakfast at a diner where the guy was listening to a bunch of old 80s hair metal. And but then also like the Mexican folk music. Like what is that stuff called?
It's not mariachi. It's not bachata. I don't know what it is. I'm not cultured enough. Yeah, I've
always just heard that it's the Latino version of country music. It's like the homiest kind of like I know comfort food.
But I can't think of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Or too much.
Oh, that's for sure. But yeah, we went to Big Bend National Park today, and it's a huge park.
Yeah.
I mean, we drove probably about 150 miles probably around it.
And we only drove because there were a lot of hikes available, but it was so fucking hot. And we can't take Charlie because it's too hot, and we can't leave Charlie in the van because it's too hot. So really the only option is to keep moving so he gets air. Which is really a shame because I bet there's some really cool hikes there, and we would have done it. It would have been really hot, but we definitely would have done it.
We have the right gear and the physical ability to do it. But yeah, it was fine enough.
It was epic, yeah. That was such a cool place.
A lot of landscapes.
Yeah. It was kind of lame going into it, I guess because we were coming from the eastern side.
A lot flatter and like
very flat,
deserty.
But then once we got into the mountains, it was greener and crazy mountains. I think the tallest mountain there is like 7,000 feet, which is crazy considering they just rise up out of the flat ground.
Yeah, we went to that cool fossil exhibit.
Oh yeah.
So it all used to be like a ocean, I guess. and then that receded over the millions of years and left. I mean, we were basically walking on the ocean floor.
And it looked like it too.
It definitely looked like it.
Plant life that was around. I don't know what kind of plants they are, but they're like very tall, spindly, succulent, I guess, thorned. But they were everywhere, and it looked like an ocean plant that was just where we were driving.
I have to say, I think if I got sick with any kind of sickness and I was trying to get better, I could not stay in a room like this. I think this room would make me feel worse. Like I've heard all this stuff.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Like so.
This would be miserable.
Yeah.
Like having a fever.
Yeah, just like uncomfortable, like not being able to flush your waste down the toilet properly. Not that I'm getting sick, but it is something that's constantly on my mind. My hypochondria has been triggered for the past, well, I guess only 3 months. Well,
since COVID?
Yeah.
That's been like 9 months. Well,
has it? Wasn't it March that it really kicked off? Oh, you're right. It's 7.
7. Yeah.
Damn. That's a long time for me to have psychological stress.
You're telling me.
Well, yeah.
Not in the same way, but.
Yeah, I mean, but all stress is probably more or less created equal. Like there are just extremer versions of the same kind of feeling.
And depending on your personality, they can affect your mood swings and emotions, which is what I've been experiencing. And it's been bad, but.
And I'm just over here like, at least you're not dying like me.
You're not dying.
I know, but that's the thing.
But it really sucks too, because we're just sitting all day and we're not like using our bodies in any useful way. It's just, I feel like Vanlyfe, what you said today, it's consumerism on wheels.
Yeah, it has to be, because you have to have gas.
Yeah.
You have to eat. You have to, like tonight, we're in a hotel room, which we just kind of decided to do because we haven't had a shower. Yeah. You were pretty insistent. You have certain ways of saying things without saying them, or saying them in a way that's like very like it circumvents the truth in a very like roundabout way.
I don't think so. We've been talking about a hotel, or at least a shower, for a long time.
I would say that you're a very indirect person.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't like.
But I'm very literal.
Yeah, I would say that's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, but even beyond Casey saying that, I think it's a lot of stuff with you is black and white.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
But like that's why I kind of wanted to go in and have my own little talk with the lady at the post office, because I was like, I know your style. I know that you give up quickly when it's like human to human interaction and you're having resistance.
I said something today. I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. Like when people are showing visible signs of stress or anger, my only and immediate reaction is just to get out of their way so that anger is not directed towards me, because I'm very afraid of people being angry at me.
Right. And I'm I'm more of the mind that I'm never trying to make anyone mad, and I have a lot of confidence in my, like, I would almost say like negotiation ability.
Yeah. So
it's like if I'm going to talk to somebody, I'm going to be very even-handed and very empathetic, and if they don't pick up on that, then I know that that's because something is wrong with them.
Right.
So ultimately,
that's not your problem.
I kind of, how like the front of a train, they have like that shunt to like get shit off the tracks and stuff. That's kind of like how I deal with people. Like it's a very sharp and very focused point, and it's got a lot of momentum behind it.
Yeah, but I feel like it's also very gentle and like compassionate.
It is.
You don't yell at people.
Well, yeah.
You don't get mad, but
right.
It's just very logical and understanding.
Which
people
can
pick up on that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, he's not trying to attack me. He's just trying to like figure out the situation.
Well, just like a train, it's like, I'm a cow. That train isn't trying to kill me. It's going to eviscerate my body and send me asunder, but it's going to do it at an angle because it's actually my fault that I'm getting hit, and I'm only realizing that as my flesh is torn from my bone.
Nice.
Because that's my style. It's like I can be so like I mean, you said today about my emotions, like that, like it must be nice to not like have those be consuming factors that.
Not necessarily consuming, but they're not even a factor
Yeah.
in your human experience.
Yeah.
They're just like, you can have them if you want them, I feel like, to a degree, but
I just know that they're very, very subjective and
Yeah.
usually not necessarily like outside of a very few real things that are undeniably emotionally driven, such as death or dying or sickness and things like that. The way that I feel about things, while well-founded in fact and logic, could still always be wrong if better evidence is presented, which can always be the case. I am an INTJ and you're an IDAGF, but
I think that like produces humility and relatability with other people.
but it's like a self-conscious version of those things, not necessarily like, you know.
Something that benefits you, and it happens to benefit everyone else, but that's just a side effect. It's not the main concern.
Yeah, it's not out of the goodness of my heart, it's out of the goodness of my brain.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's because I can think about it enough to try to make things work for everybody. But yeah, we went to Big Bend, and we
didn't even do acid, and we're just like so introspective and talking about everything.
yeah, it's almost as if that's on the mind. Generally speaking, this would be a terrible place to have a trip to. I mean, I'm seeing everything through the lens of doing a psychedelic drug, and this just, even sitting here relatively sober, I'm like, I feel not great in this room.
Fucking haunted.
Charlie was licking some weird
Gross
spot.
shit in here.
I can only imagine. And I mean, you know, it's fine enough.
It's fine. It's all fine.
Everything
is fine. It's, man, yeah.
We're going to have Little Caesars for late night dinner. What have we become?
We're doing our best, but
Well, that's what you said
honestly,
earlier.
van life sucks.
I would say.
It's a downgrade from everything we've done before, which have only been 2 like long distance activities, but
But those are both lifetime events that people like save up for and like.
But they were so accessible. They were so available to us.
Yeah, because
we had
there's.
no choice but to choose adventure.
But you have to have a certain amount of courage and a certain amount of like.
Maybe I don't feel like that's true.
Well, that's because we've done them. We've done 2 of them.
Yeah.
And you see people who are 3 times your age, twice mine, who are wishing that they could do some of the things that we've already done, and they can't now because they're like old and decrepit and decaying, and have lost that vigor and that essential flame inside themselves that like gives
Makes
them.
them lame as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's not easy if you're a normal person.
Yeah.
To get out there and do these things. So normal people, I would say van life is more accessible for them because if you're willing to...
It's just buying another vehicle.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, it's just another purchase and another project to work on before you can get on the road, and then once you are on the road, you're just looking for things to satisfy your immediate desires, which are adventure, food, sleep, showers.
I think the thing about it, though, is that it really doesn't actually offer you that much freedom because you have to constantly be thinking about where you can put your van. And it's kind of, I mean, it is literally a mobile home. So it's like, it's not, when we were biking and I didn't have a house and we didn't have the van, it was like, well, that was like true freedom because it was like we can go in any direction, and we didn't have Charlie either.
Yeah.
So it was like...
But we also had a sense of purpose and like a drive to get to the West Coast.
We had a route.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a route.
We don't have anything. We're fucking looking at the map and just being like, where do you want to go? I don't know. This forest sounds nice.
Gila.
They allow dispersed camping. You don't have to pay $40 for a campsite that doesn't do anything except
no water,
for
no
place to park.
Yeah, and a porta potty that's been used by 10,000 people.
I also think it's interesting doing this during COVID times, just because we are so much more a part of society and reliant on the
services and all.
services,
Yeah.
that it produces and we require. So if those are cut short because of COVID, it's also an interesting time to be doing that.
I'm listening to this old episode of Harmontown right now, and he has these three guys who have this podcast about conspiracy theories. And when I stopped listening most recently, they were talking about how, like, it was like probably, I guess, 2019, but it was they were talking a lot about Trump and how it's just sort of signaling, little bits of revelation from the Bible, and like
Is he the Antichrist?
that's what Dan Harmon was saying. He said he has a wound on his head. It's like, don't discount these little details that are.
Dude, I saw a meme the other day that was like, they will wear the mark of the beast on their foreheads, and it showed a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
And I never read Revelation, but Dan Harmon said that the Antichrist is supposed to have a wound that they survived on their head, and apparently Donald Trump has some sort of like scalp surgery.
Dude, he's gonna be reelected, and it's gonna fucking crumble. America is gonna crumble.
4 more years of this, it's kind of like, it's like using JB Weld to like redo your drive shaft on your car instead of actually getting like a new drive shaft. It's like, it'll keep going down the road, but it's all the stuff that's happened under Trump that should have been an immediate non-starter, like stuff that should have disqualified him from even being a human being on this earth. Like, it's just, I don't understand how people have the tolerance to not assassinate him at worst and impeach him at best. It's just like...
It's the policies, though. It's the Republican Party that we're voting for. It's the policies.
I mean, I guess isn't it?
Yeah, but you can't deny that the person is in charge of all of the policies.
And wouldn't it? I mean, I don't.
I need to call my brother.
Yeah.
We need to talk.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's an hour later, but I mean, how ironic it is too. If not just to give in to the Christian mythology for the sake of argument, like to think about the fact that he could be the Antichrist, and then his like. I was actually gonna keep that out. Did you want one?
I can go get one.
Yeah, you should probably go get one.
Okay.
You need keys, though?
Yeah.
Anyway, my point is that how ironic that the Christians, the silent majority, I think they're in my pocket.
We can finish this, though. I'm not trying to run. Maybe I shouldn't have one. I
well,
probably shouldn't.
We can share. It's not going to be cold by the time you want to drink it.
Yeah.
I can say that for sure. Yeah, that's the subtle trick of alcohol. It makes you want more.
Yeah.
And you're in over your head. But all my point is trying to say is that it's crazy to think that, in a metaphorical sense, that Trump is actually supported by Christians predominantly. He has the right wing, like Christian fundamentalists of all ilks and types in his group of supporters.
But do you think that's because of who he is, or because of the party he represents? I feel like it's mostly the party.
Yeah, but isn't that interesting?
They're like anti-abortion, anti-LGBT.
Yeah. But Trump is not historically for any of those things. And the thing...
Or against. He's a fucking millionaire that just appeared out of nowhere.
He's like a rapist, misogynist, pedophile. Racist as well. But there's that line, I think it was in the newest Run the Jewels album, but Killer Mike is like, never forget that Jesus was killed by the state.
Yeah.
And so, it's just interesting to see the morals and values of this country just crumble with the... I mean, they are... I mean, it's just so... It's like we're living in a terrible story. Because the lesson here is so obvious. It's like, don't do this. It's like, if you want to survive and be happy and live a life that's not pure hell, don't elect this kind of person, because this is what happens when you do.
Yeah.
And we're white people. Like, it's so bad that it's like making
it's reaching our level.
Right.
We're privileged white people that literally are not working, living off of incredible amounts of savings, just doing whatever we want, and it's reaching our level. So I can't even imagine what disadvantaged communities are going through, people of color are going through during this time, let alone the protests and everything involved with that, and his stance on everything at that.
I still don't understand how people who were out of jobs for months, paid rent. If you were living literally paycheck to paycheck, I don't know how that worked out, but I can't believe there hasn't been like some upheaval. I mean,
there was some kind of like forgiveness plan,
but
or like something.
But I feel like I know people who live paycheck to paycheck, and I didn't see. I don't know what they actually did. There was nothing. There was nothing, because that describes that state of being like a large majority of Americans. Because you have the 1% in control of like 99% of the wealth or whatever, and so the vast majority of people would have needed that kind of assistance. But everyone knows about the stimulus check going out because everyone got one. But what did all those people do?
I mean, that's not even enough for like 3 months of rent. If it's like $600 a month, you get a $1,200 stimulus check. That's not even, and that's just rent.
That's not enough for anything.
Food or fucking diapers or like anything.
The incidentals, utilities, cell phone, the stuff that's like necessary. That post on Instagram the other day that said like $1,200 spread out between the time that a stimulus check went out to now is $6 a day, which is probably like, you know, third world level poverty levels of like people who work in, I don't know, the shitty places like in Africa that are like harvesting conflict minerals and stuff like that, and diamonds and stuff like that. $6 a day. I don't know. That's
well above poverty level.
Yeah,
but for America,
right,
and for the standard that we are used to living,
for unlimited data with Verizon. I mean, that's
the thing too. We're also privileged, and we're also like blind to the fact of what actual suffering is. We don't even know, and we're so fucking concerned with ourselves and our country and our future. We don't even know.
We don't want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, here we are in a room that would probably be a refuge for people in Uganda or something. They would
fit like 4 families in this room.
Right. Yeah, and they'd be like, "This is fucking awesome. We got a
we
sink.
have running water. We have drinking water.
We have
that's
a bed.
Clean.
Yeah, I mean the floor has blood and cum on it, but I mean that's better than shit and dead bodies.
Yeah. We don't even know, and when you think about it in that perspective, it's kind of refreshing because we are not so important and so much in dire need of anything. We don't lack anything.
Yeah, but is this the beginning of the end for America?
Potentially.
As we know it.
Yeah.
And how ironic again that like the last president in our history would have had the slogan "Make America Great Again." The whole thing is just so ironic and twisted and like almost like sarcastic, like it almost feels like some evil puppet master is like you know, calling the shots or something.
Keep America great.
Yeah, no more
bullshit. Is this greatness? Really? I want out of here if this is greatness.
I just don't understand. I mean, we did some research when we were on the trail because I was like, are more people located in the metropolitan city areas of the United States, or are there more small towns that cumulatively make up a larger body of voting people? And it turned out, obviously, that it's kind of intuitive, but the cities are bigger and they have more people. But how did Trump even get elected to begin with, if not for these small little towns? Because I know those people, they're the ones who don't have shit to do. I mean, we're struggling. We're mostly going through small towns, and we're struggling to find things to do. So people who live in these small towns, voting day has got to be like a big event.
Yeah.
Because these people are typically like, they either go to church, they go to the gas station to like have their little community meetings with the people that they know, and what else? Grocery store.
But also, like, think about the 2016 election. It was Trump or Hillary, and Hillary had a lot of shit behind her. And she was a woman, so I feel like that's a deterrent for even people in the city that are less progressive and more standard. Traditional, yeah. I don't know. It's crazy.
It is crazy. I'm surprised we're even talking about it. I mean, it's sort of it's the undercurrent of everything that's happening right now. You have politics and you have health. And those two things, you can't escape them at all.
You can't escape them, and they're underlying stressors that add to everything else. At least for me personally, what I'm experiencing and going through. Like, there's the personal things that you think about, but then there's also the underlying current of, like, oh shit, like, we're all gonna go down, and we're all gonna be destitute, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, we've downgraded everything to where we live in a van, but if there's no gas, and if my money is inaccessible, then it doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, that would be an extreme, but...
That's when I regret giving Athena back her gun, and, I'm wielding a hatchet from Walmart and bear spray.
I don't think we're going to see that.
Well, I mean, who knows? Shit happens.
Who knows, yeah.
I mean, you think about the French Revolution in Hamilton, like how many, from 1776, like, to, I don't know, 1886, that 10-year period, like, do you think the people at the beginning of that decade knew that, they were going to be...
was about to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, just the fact that, like, the plague preceded the Enlightenment, and the Enlightenment period was, like, a lot of upheaval of social norms and things. Yeah. So this is, like, a new plague that's, like, I don't know. I'm ready to learn Hindi and not Cantonese, but Mandarin, so that we can, bow down to
comply to the world powers.
Yeah, the new overlords.
Damn, dude. Maybe we should.
Well, we might have to stay together just to stay alive. I gotta watch my back, and you gotta watch yours. Like,
I mean, honestly, that's not preferred. But compared to our lifestyle that we're living now, it would be kind of fun to have some action.
I was always a little envious of The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Because
no,
it's like a through
I don't want to live. No, it's not. It's fear for your life every single second you're awake.
Yeah, it's the ultimate.
I don't want that.
It's the ultimate through hike.
No, that's not going to happen.
No, I don't think so, because zombies don't exist.
Yeah.
That doesn't work that way.
Unless COVID is the...
Is the disease.
Disease.
I mean, to be fair, in spoiler alert, the thing that did you? I don't know if we watched that far in the series together.
But everyone had it.
Yeah, everyone had it. As soon as you died, regardless of what you died from, you became a zombie.
Just like COVID.
Yeah.
If you die, it's counted as a COVID death, no matter what you die of.
Yeah. Dog mauling.
Yeah.
Buffalo goring. Yeah. I still can't believe, and again, knock on wood, all the traveling that we've done cross country, and then the 10,000 miles we've done to this point, not being sick. I honestly think that this will actually be one of the healthiest and low population affected flu seasons that has ever been recorded, ever. Because we already have we have a world population aware for the first time in history of how germs are spread and how to most effectively limit the spread of those germs. Because obviously when we meet people, when we meet friends, when we meet families, we don't like to wear masks and we don't like to social distance because that just doesn't feel right for your friends and family.
Yeah.
And so that's really the only point of exposure that is...
Everyone else, like, every stranger is a threat.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel, like, going into Walmart and grocery stores and stuff, like, keep your distance. I don't want any part of you.
And when you're in Walmart, too, you see the creme de la creme of COVID.
Candidates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People coughing, people obese, people who are obviously not well for a variety of other reasons that have nothing to do with COVID.
Yeah.
But, I mean... It's to be able to... it makes me feel in both hands. On the one hand, it's like, well, is COVID actually something to worry about? And then on the other hand, it's like, yeah, it's definitely something to worry about. But I just can't believe that we haven't gotten sick.
From COVID?
Yeah, or just period. I mean... Like, we haven't...
We're healthy, though. Like,
we are.
We prioritize exercise as much as possible.
I do that, too, but I usually...
our van is basically like a little quarantine if we needed it.
But
We're the only ones in there.
Yeah. I usually get sick once a year. Usually the winter or fall. And that's typically obvious because, that's when everyone gets sick. And everyone gets sick because everyone is still congregating together, but it's cold outside, so everyone stays inside.
But do you think that's dependent on your location? Like,
no.
Historically, that's Atlanta.
Yeah,
and
so there's
it's
a lot
big
more...
city, and you having exposure every day.
Yeah, so the chances of exposure, but it's because I worked in an office, an open air office.
Yeah.
And I personally was very stubborn. I would still go to work when I was sick, and
Yeah.
I'm sure I infected other people with whatever I was sick with.
Yeah.
But I have a very strict, like, perfect attendance kind of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I've told you before, but I had the flu once, and it was like the worst thing I've ever experienced. And I remember I was living in a loft. It was me and Erica. It was the year that we got egg, and I remember being sick, and I've told you this already, but I was watching just as much of Good Eats as I could because it made me feel better. But I just remember walking to our downstairs bathroom to, like, pee, and it was just so painful in such a weird way. I was like, if I was like 80 years old and I felt this way, I would just be like, I'm ready to die.
Yeah.
Like, this sucks. Just hook me up to the morphine, give me an overdose, and just let me go. Because if this continues for weeks on end, I'd rather just go.
Yeah.
And that's someone who was like 27 at the time or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been that sick. Or I have been that sick, but I was like 12 years old,
Yeah.
so death wasn't even something I was thinking about.
It's worth experiencing.
It still isn't.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't want
Yeah.
to.
I think it is in the same way that maybe a bad psychedelic trip would be. Because it's like you learn a lot from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So we went to Big Bend.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw some cacti. We barely saw any animals. I mean, we saw
some roadrunners.
Yeah, we saw a few.
Those were cool.
Yeah.
And I learned from the brochure pamphlet that we got that they can run up to 20 miles an hour and they peck their prey to death and then get all of the moisture, water that they need through their prey. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
We saw I saw two of them.
Mm-hmm. I remember seeing one for sure.
Also, driving is so fucking terrible. Like, you kill so many innocent things. We have so many butterflies in the grill of our van. It's just, like, very depressing. You can't avoid it because, like, you're going the speed limit.
You don't see them until they smash.
Yeah,
like
they're so innocent. They're just
that's
living
why
their lives, and we're just driving through for no reason at all, killing and killing and killing, and it's just like.
Do you know about the religion Jainism? No. These people, they're very strict vegans, and they wear like masks all the time so that they don't even inhale bugs by accident. But I was wondering what Jains do if they even drive cars, because a Jain would feel they'd have to kill themselves with all the bugs that we've killed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's insane. We probably killed like 1,000+ bugs.
Yeah.
I mean, easily.
And butterflies and like important insects to the environment.
That is why those bugs have so many offspring, though, because nature knows that those bugs they fall prey to a lot of different. They're not strong creatures.
Yeah, but it's just unfortunate that we're playing into part of the predators of the earth, their environment.
It's
and
another strike against Vanlyfe.
Yeah, for real.
I killed one frog on the bike ride. And I felt bad about that for about an hour and a half, which I think was a good. I think that was an appropriate and proportional grieving period.
Yeah.
Because I was like, "Fuck!" I heard that thing pop when I went over it, and I still remember it. It was very clear. It was right before that little antique shop gas station in Colorado.
I do remember that.
Yeah. But I think that was probably the only thing I consciously killed. But we see these bugs on the windshield, and then when we clean the windshield at gas stations and stuff, it's a massacre.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And like bees.
Yeah.
And butterflies.
Bees, butterflies,
I keep
crickets.
Saying things that are so important, and we're just running through them they have no chance.
We still have not killed avian or mammalian creatures.
Thank God. I don't know if I could handle that. I would fucking break down.
If that happened, I was already thinking we would pull over and I would start driving, and we would bury it if it was still on the car.
We would need to do something.
Yeah.
And they have like the purest existence in life, and they're just living and procreating and eating and like living off of their environment, and we do none of that as humans. At this point in the 21st century in America, we're so reliant on this society and things that we've built to supply our needs, and we're just so inconsiderate and don't even think about the things that their lives need to be given or taken from them just because of our needs. Not only needs, but just desires. Like, we're driving around, we have no plans, we're not doing anything important, and we're just killing.
In a twisted way, that's kind of why I'm, like, in a certain sense, an anti-environmentalist, because I feel like environmentalism is really just for human benefit, and I almost feel like we should, like, it would serve us right to make the environment uninhabitable by humans, because if all the humans died, the earth would recover, and as Jeff Goldblum says, life would find a way.
Life finds a way.
Yeah.
That's fucking what we talked about when I worked with the SECC for 1 week in my life. It was preservation versus conservation. Yeah, and conservation is like utilizing the resources in a sustainable manner so that we can keep being served by the environment, whereas preservation was just like, let it go, leave it alone, have no human contact.
Yeah.
And that's actually the difference between national parks and like... That's Chet. That's not Chet,
but he might react to it.
Yeah.
Different, national
That's
parks.
That's the difference between like national parks,
which
are preserved,
right,
and like national forests, which are conserved, because like they harvest timber, and national lands in general, like we're utilizing the resources. But I don't remember where I was going with this. But
my bad.
No, it's fine.
I know the point that you were trying to make. It's just like
we should just leave it alone. But also,
but
like,
we can't.
But look at us though, like through hikers, through bikers, like we've been in all of it, and we've enjoyed it, and we've done hard work to like accomplish these goals that are totally self-serving. But like, it was a refuge in some degree. Yeah. But
I mean,
we're still in it. We're always invading it.
Yeah, that's what humans do. I mean,
something just fell from the ceiling.
Probably asbestos. Or maybe the ceiling is leaking.
No, it wasn't wet.
Yeah, man. It goes back to that line from The Matrix, which I quoted on the bike ride, and I think Athena picked up on it because she was a fan. But when Agent Smith is interrogating Morpheus, he's like, there is one other type of life form that... well, he basically just compares humans to viruses. A virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, humans are a virus.
We're so fucking self-serving and selfish, and...
But we also can't help it.
We can't help it. It's our
either
biology.
We either annihilate ourselves, or... Well, that's it, actually. It's a one-way street to annihilation.
Yeah.
And annihilation is Latin for a nihil. Like, a would mean... means two. Well, nihil means zero. So, 2-0. We're going to zero. And the country just feels like it is going to zero at this point in history. So it's weird. And you and I being together...
Play out.
Yeah. We don't want kids. We're not trying to get married. We,
rejecting all social norms.
And being praised by almost everyone for doing it.
Yeah, we're so brave. We're so courageous.
Yeah.
What? No. No. We're just...
It's like, it's hard to imagine a different path.
Yeah.
In being satisfied.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not satisfied by this path either, but it's the best we can do.
Yeah.
Little Caesars and Budweiser and Views Pods.
So there's all of that, and then there's like the personal things that you go through, like how does my life have meaning, and what am I gonna do to be happy? And those are like things that I've been thinking about a lot, and bringing out in conversation, and it's just like so disheartening and confusing. And
there was this guy, I think his name was Victor Stronghold or something like that. He was someone who survived in Auschwitz concentration camp, and he was, his whole point, he gave a TED talk that was pretty good, but his whole point was just that like the only thing that the difference between the people who survived concentration camps and those who didn't was hope, which is interesting because, like, you know, Obama's slogan was, you know, give hope a chance and stuff like that, and now it's keep America great or make America great again. It's crazy. This whole political thing is really enveloping and I think swallowing like every other aspect of human life in America. And since America is like the guiding light for the rest of the world, it's just crazy to watch. It's almost like a black hole has emerged in the center of the country and it's sucking everything in, and it just feels so catastrophically unbalanced. Yeah, desperate
and depressing.
But some people celebrate that, like the Trump supporters. I feel like they I don't know.
They see some type of light, even though it's distorted and not even true in the first place. It's like the fucking moths.
It's like
that go to the light, and they're just like, "This is it. This is the sun. We know it's true. It's great." And then they die.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's the people who, like, the mobs that crucified Jesus. And, like, you know, Pontius Pilate is Donald Trump, or maybe something like that.
He's not, because Pontius Pilate was passionate.
Yeah.
And didn't want him to be killed. He just listened to the crowds and listened to what the people wanted and made his decision based on that.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Also the Bible.
Yeah, well, based on the Bible. Yeah. This man is harmless, so why does he upset you? I see no evil. Yeah. He's unimportant. But to keep you vultures happy, I shall flog him. Crucify, 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 crucify. My mom will enjoy that. Yeah. Shit's fucked up.
Shit's so fucked up.
And Vanlyfe doesn't make it better.
No.
Sorry.
It doesn't. For all of you who are listening, who are like, oh, I'm so jealous of their lifestyle and their freedom and their adventures that they have. Yeah, we do see epic shit. Big Bend was really cool. And all the places we've been are really cool. But, like, it's not satisfying any desire that we have. It's not, like, inspiring us in any way to grow as humans. It's just so sedentary and so boring.
It's making both of us
crazy. Yeah. It's making me crazy.
And it's making us both want to go back to something that we already had, whether on the Appalachian Trail or on the bike ride.
Yeah. Which I think also points back to the fact that we're I wouldn't use the word athletes, but a certain degree of like physical suffering is necessary to enjoy the rewards of society. Like, you have to work for it. And not, for me, not in the traditional sense, like not get a desk job and work your life away, but like there's something out there that we're looking for that we have achieved in small amounts, but then you have to go back into society and go back into all of the things that you tried so desperately to escape from, and it's crushing.
Speaking of crushing, if we were hoping to crush some pizza, we should probably go soon.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
And
this is long.
Yeah, 48 minutes. And it's all bad. So, you're welcome. Fuck you.
It's all bad.
Unless you're our moms, in which case, thanks for listening. But, yeah, we're going to go. And, yeah, we're going to take our first shower tonight in over a week. And we've sweated our arses off.
Yeah, I think it was 8 or 9 days.
Yeah. I think 8.
Yeah.
But still, that's a lot.
Is it Wednesday?
Yeah. Wednesday, October 7th, it's 9:18 p.m.
Yeah, so it was a week and 1 day.
Yeah.
Since we've been at Compton's.
Yep.
That's insane.
It is.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Jesus please us. Bye.
Bye.